You're listening to The Steam Room on GaySA Radio, where you are family, and I'm Max. So, one of the other very interesting things we did on The Steam Room was have two men chat anonymously about condoms. We disguised their voices to give them a level of anonymity for them to speak freely about their experiences. So, here's a bit of a raunchy chat about condoms, here on The Steam Room on GaySA Radio, where you are family.
Do you always use condoms or not?
Always. I try to most of the time. Obviously, when you were younger, when I was younger, that is, I had my oopsies. But, with everything else that is happening, you can't just take the risk.
But I remember reading something that there's always like those challenges where when you go multiple rounds and you go one round with a condom and some people go like second round without a condom and then the third round they go about it's with a condom. It's like that kind of exchange thing when it comes to condoms.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the first time I
never experienced it. Okay.
It's the first time I hear of it. I wouldn't. I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense for me to go with for the first and then the second without. Because I'm like, then why are you initially protecting if you're going to just let it slip?
Go.
I
think maybe it's a matter of comfortability and there's that connection.
No. Not with everything that is happening. I just feel that you can't risk it.
Yeah,
there's just so much going on that, you just can't jeopardize certain things.
Absolutely. With me, I also always use condoms, but then as you said, when we were more young and juvenile, we had our oopsies and I had mine as fair share. But then luckily I went for every 6 months for some tests to make sure that I'm still okay and still fine. But eventually,
Were you ready for the outcome?
Not always. Never, actually.
Right?
Like, you're never ready for the results. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm always like shaking and like shivering.
No, true. I think because even if you still use condoms, it's that thing of the worst case scenario, inverted commas.
Yeah.
And people lie as well. You get to be so trusting and then,
True, very true. But then,
talking about condoms.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where the condom breaks or it just slips off? While you guys are doing the frenakas?
Slip off, definitely. I can't recall when it broke, but then slip off, definitely. It happens quite more often than it should.
But then when do you know? Do you feel it?
I feel it, and if I'm with somebody that's responsible and cares for me, they normally tell me that they need to stop for a while. Just because it's slipped off and then they need to adjust.
It's not every day that you have somebody who will read it. No, because I've been there and I'm actually asking you this because I've been there myself, where you'd actually be doing it and then you like something definitely feels different.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but you're like, you're not 100% there because then you're constantly, at the back of your mind, you're like, I need to make sure that the condom is still on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you should, because that's what you're taking care of yourself, and not only yourself, but you're protecting the person you're sleeping with too. So making sure the condom is always fitted right and it's there is probably one of the first precautions I take and one I take throughout the whole intercourse period.
Do you find it easier for you to put the condom on yourself, onto your partner if you are receiving, or just to let them take care of it? I trust you enough.
For me, it's not even to do with my preference of do I want to put it on, but then it's just that I enjoy fiddling around with it. It's more of a activation for me and kind of like a mood setter, knowing what I'm dealing with. Knowing what I'm dealing with. I don't know. What do you prefer? Or
for me, I will be more at ease and more relaxed if I actually put the condom on to my partner, on my partner myself, because that way then I know that it is there, it is on,
it is
and
there.
It is properly actually, it's in place. Because as shocking as it is, there are still people who just don't know how to put the condom on, even if the instructions are there. And you're like, dude.
That is so, I wouldn't say crazy, but then as you said, it is there.
Yeah, so it's just, I just need to do that for me to be
So
at ease.
would you think that it's really important that we all learn and educate ourselves on how condoms need to be put on?
I would like to believe we should be at a stage where we know that, but obviously, there is still an area for education in that sense.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for your question. I think that was a great...
No, definitely, man. Because sometimes you just ask yourself, you're like, you know what? You just need to make sure it's tight, it's properly there. There's a space for when you release.
Absolutely.
And
and for any breakage, you have extras.
Yeah, and it's actually quite funny because you limit yourself. Well, I find that I need to limit, even if you've got lube and everything else. Yeah. But during the intercourse session, you limit yourself. You're like, you can't pound too much. I don't know if you experience that. Like, yes, you are relaxed, you are in the zone, but because you're dealing with latex after all, because you know what happens.
The strength of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens, you're like, hey, you can't go 100%. Just be cautious, do what you need to do, but at the same time, just monitor the impact or the pressure.
Just for another Mary, just for a third party question, in case somebody might ask this, but then it just really creeped up in my mind. What about double application of condoms?
For me,
is it possible, firstly?
No, and people have this concept that you can actually do that. And that is it's the total opposite.
Okay.
Because then it's latex to latex, it's rubber to rubber. So it's obviously bound to break. As compared to having a condom, lube, and flash. Yeah. And it's that whole misconception that people have that, oh no, you know what, if I'm sleeping with somebody who's a bit iffy or dodgy, then I can actually double up.
And not being aware of the material.
If you are doubling up, then there's bound to be more friction and it will break easily. Exactly.
Hey, I just learned something.
There you go.
Now that we are on a more funnier and lighter side, any funny stories about you and condoms during intercourse?
True. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to get very personal now. But
this is why we're here.
No. True. It's a safe space after
absolutely.
all. It was my second year university, and I had my session with somebody, and he had just climaxed, and I was receiving, and he was then obviously on top at that stage. But then I said to him, "Don't pull out."
Okay.
Don't pull out as yet. Because I enjoy that. I know it's funny, but
no, not at all.
Could be somehow different, but I enjoy the fact that, you in me, just let it be in me.
Just that whole connection. Yes, I get it. That intimate moment of nothing.
So we had that.
Yeah.
And obviously during the session, he was hard. And then he got a bit...
Absolutely. Naturally.
After the full 100-meter run, he was just tired and relaxed. And obviously, the budong shrinked to the usual size.
Okay.
But then
and the condom stretched already.
Still in me.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously for me as well, with the difference in diameter, I would go maybe from 80 to then 40.
Okay.
Right? And then he would then pull out, and then the condom would still be stuck. Right? Because remember now, yes, he was hard, and now he pulled out. And now my receptive organ has gone tighter. Exactly.
Did he help you get it out?
That's the funny part.
Or did you have to excuse me?
I was like, I had to say to him, okay. So actually, this is how I noticed. So he pulled out. And as he pulled out, I was like, where is the condom? Because that's the whole panic moment. Like, where is the condom?
So you did not feel it?
No.
It's just that you did not see it.
I didn't see it, right? Okay. So it's a matter of us looking for the condom and I'm like, but it's no way. It's just the two of us. Right? And then an aha moment.
Yeah.
Like, maybe. And it was...
Let me go check.
I literally had to sit there with my legs open to grant him access, right?
For him to get it out.
For him to actually pull it out.
So it was really deep.
It was there, it was stuck, and I had closed it in. Yeah. And he had to go in and pull it out. So that was funny, because I'm like, okay, I just got intimate with this guy. There's nothing to hide. But now that zone kind of faded, and now it's back to normal. And now he needs to put his hands up my
Please tell me this was your boyfriend then. Because
It was a hookup. It was actually, it wasn't like 100% hookup, but it was somebody that I knew, and we were just going to do
I think
the
he
deed.
respects your areola from now. Most definitely. With me, it was more of a situation, not that as deep as yours, but...
Excuse the pun.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was when I was with one of my first boyfriends, and I was trying to give it to him instead of receiving. And I had to wear the condom, and with no idea how, and I was really, really young. So I put it on, and when I made my way, in two, I failed. So I had to...
What do you mean by that?
Like, I couldn't get it in. I didn't know where. I was right in his thighs. And it was just a bit of a mess. So I had to just give up. And when I gave up, I didn't know how to, apparently you need to roll off the condom. You don't just... So I hung on to the edge of it, and I tried just pulling it out, and it's just slapped my dick.
Of course, so then it goes to the front and then...
Yeah, and it was the most painful, craziest thing ever. I just screamed, and he was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" But yeah, and eventually, I was around after 20 minutes. We got back to it.
No, I wouldn't have. But that was my condom experience. To this day, every time I need to tell the story, I just cringe.
After how many glasses of wine?
Because I'm like, you can't, that is the most intimate level that anybody could ever go.
Very personal.
Yeah, it's like you got nothing to hide now. You need to open up for me to get this out, and I'm helping you.
But there were not any other after reactions?
No.
From it just sticking around?
No. But you know what actually got to me? It's just the sound that it made as well.
Oh, don't tell me it squeaked.
No. Because you're pulling it out.
Yeah.
Remember, there is a whole...
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but thank God it was still intact, so...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Max, and you're listening to The Steam Room on GaySA Radio, where you are family. And on this episode, we're doing something different, something exciting. We're looking at the behind the scenes of The Steam Room and some of the best content that went out over our past few episodes. So, one of the most valuable contributors on The Steam Room is a man called Bruce Little, who works for the Inova Health Institute. And he has given us some incredible insights about all things related to the world of MSMs. He also spoke to us about After 9's, and if you don't know what the hell an After 9 is, well, take a listen to this. I'm Max, and you're listening to The Steam Room on GaySA Radio, where you are family.
Why do you think some men choose to have secret sex at night?
I think there's a variety of numbers. Men who have secret sex are as varied as you get any type of man. So there's a million reasons why we do the things that we do. So it's very difficult for me to be able to say this is exactly why they do it. Some men have secret sex with other men because it's exciting, because it's a taboo. And sometimes when something is a taboo or it's secret, it adds to the sexual tension, and it adds to the excitement around the act. It makes it even more exciting. And for other men, it's literally a case of, I don't want my family or community to know that I'm having sex with other men because they will judge me, or they will see me as being less than what I am, or less than how they currently perceive me. So there's a myriad of reasons as to why somebody would choose to be an After 9.
And what would you say are some of the biggest issues these men have to face?
I think one of the big issues I would assume for somebody living in the shadows or somebody living in a secretive lifestyle is that I think there must be quite a lot of isolation and loneliness. If you're living a lie or a secret, then a part of you feels like anyone who's been in the closet. So these men are essentially in the closet for most of the people in their lives. And it's the usual pain that one would associate with living in the closet. Everyone you know doesn't really know you. And so what happens is that you can't help but wonder, do these people really love me? Do these people really, does my wife really love me? Do my parents really love and understand me? Because they don't know who I am. I'm hiding this major part of myself, and my sexuality is a very big part of myself. And I think it's also the fear of being discovered. I think it must be really frightening to be an After 9 who is engaging in sexual acts with other men, behind the backs of their friends, family, and community. And then the possibility of being exposed and all the things that come with being exposed, now being exposed to discrimination, maybe being disowned by their families, or having, the threat of maybe being left by their spouses. There's just so many things that could go wrong. And that's the case with any kind of clandestine lifestyle where you're keeping things from the people you're closest to.
And do you have any advice for after niners who are dealing with feelings of guilt or shame?
I would say my advice for any person who identifies as an after niner, just, educate yourselves. And you can educate yourself on the down low as well. So you can go online using your smartphone or, an internet cafe where somebody can't see what you're looking at. And just go onto different websites like wethebrave.co.za or healthformen.co.za and find out how you can have sex with other men in a safer way. There's just so many things that people assume they know about HIV and STIs. And unfortunately, the thing is, people assume that you'll be able to see with the naked eye that somebody else has an STI. But many, many people have syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and a number of other STIs, but they're asymptomatic, which means you can't see the symptoms. So you can't see that this person has these STIs and they can easily give it to you. So I would say just educate yourself, and because knowledge is power, and also the more you know about who you are and what's at risk for yourself, then the less chance there will be of being in danger, and hopefully then less chance of feeling ashamed or feeling insecure about who and what you are.
And do you have any advice for after niners who are afraid of coming out?
I think it's the same advice that I would give to anybody about coming out. So whether or not you're an after niner or you're anyone who's living in the closet, there are pros and cons. The cons are that there is a very real risk for a number of people to be disowned or to get a backlash from the family or those people closest to you who are ignorant about homosexuality or bisexuality, and people who are discriminatory about it because of religious or cultural beliefs. So you need to know that there is a possibility that you will be discriminated against you, and make sure that you are safe, that you are in a situation where when you disclose this information about yourself, that you're not in a situation where you can be assaulted or you can be attacked. Because unfortunately we live in a country where in many communities, if you do come out as LGBTQIA+, you are at risk of violence, because that's how it manifests in many communities throughout the continent of Africa. So be safe. Make sure that when you divulge this information to another person, that you can trust that person and that you are in an environment where you can take care of your own well-being.
And then what would you say to wives or girlfriends listening who have after niners as their significant others?
It's a tough situation. Anyone who's involved in a relationship who suspects that their partner is engaging in sexual acts with other people has a responsibility to themselves and their partner to take care of themselves and the situation. So if you suspect your partner is having sex with anybody else, whether that person is, having sex with other men or other women, doesn't matter. You need to protect yourself. Number one, you can try and insist on the use of condoms every time you and your husband or your boyfriend engage in sexual acts. I know that that's difficult because, there's the stigma or this belief, preconceived notion that if you're married to somebody or you've been in a long-term relationship with them, that you should be able to have unprotected sex. That is not the case. You can insist that your partner uses protection, or alternatively, you can go to the clinic and explain to the healthcare provider that you would like to go onto pre-exposure prophylaxis, otherwise known as PrEP. So if you test HIV negative and you suspect that your partner may be engaging in sexual acts that could bring a threat of STIs into your lovemaking, then you as an HIV negative person can go and test yourself, first of all, to know what your status is. It's always good to know what your status is in terms of all the STIs. And if you test negative, then the way you can stay HIV negative is to go onto PrEP. And PrEP takes 7 days to activate fully. And then even if your partner does become infected with HIV themselves, they will not be able to pass it on to you.
Do you think that an after niner can live a well-rounded and stable life?
I think it's up to the individual whether or not they can live a well-rounded and established life. I think it depends on the relationship that the after niner has with their spouse. I think if you're in a relationship where your wife or partner knows that you are engaging in sexual acts with other people and everything is transparent and everything, relationships are based on trust. If there is no trust, then I begin to think that the relationship is in trouble. But if you're playing open cards with your partner and if you're engaging in sexual acts while using protection and all the involved parties are taking all the necessary preventative precautions. So if you're HIV negative, everybody involved is taking PrEP. If you're HIV positive, then everybody involved is on ARVs, and you've been on ARVs religiously so that you are undetectable, which means the HIV is so low in your bloodstream that you can't pass it on to another person. Then all of those things should allow a relatively healthy, well-rounded existence going forward. There will always be complications in relationships in life. So there's no guarantees that a relationship is always going to be smooth. But I think it is definitely possible for an after 9 individual to lead a happy and